welcoming Mr. Harry Psaros.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. It's a genuine privilege to be here today. About a year ago, I released my book, From Struggle to Strength, A Father's Journey with Autism and the Power of Hope and Positivity. Since then, I've been on a mission to become the most prominent national voice for the autism community, except for fathers. And today is a meaningful part of that journey. When Nick and Soros invited me to speak, you might not have realized the risk. Handing a microphone to an over-caffeinated type A Greek is quite deadly, quite dangerous. I spoke to my son, Max, who I call Mad Max, who's a football player in college, and he said to me, "Dad, keep it under 2 hours." So, Max, I'm going to do my best. The great Toni Morrison once said, "A writer's life and work are not a gift to mankind, they're a necessity." I've spent nearly 2 decades advocating in the autism community in the greater Pittsburgh area. And I've learned that the hardest struggles can fuel our greatest strengths. That's what my book is about. The idea From Struggle to Strength came after countless conversations with warrior moms who were struggling, begging me, to speak with their husbands. These women were overwhelmed, exhausted, and desperate. Tackling autism as a standalone parent is an absolutely Herculean task. Many fathers, I learned, struggled in silence. Some couldn't accept the diagnosis, driven by ego or fear. What they found when I spoke to many, it's mostly ego, unfortunately. Others tried to fix autism like a broken appliance. I can relate to both, because at one time, I was one of them. Let me take you back. Our son, Gus Psaros, who we all met last night, was born in October 2003, a beautiful baby. Everything seemed fine until around 18 months, when Michelle, my amazing wife, noticed something was off. Gus wasn't speaking, wouldn't respond to his name, was obsessed with spinning objects. Michelle, what I now call mommy intuition, she brought up her concerned store pediatrician, who brushed her off, just said, "Boys will be boys." She didn't give up. One day she saw an Oprah Winfrey special that went national about autism and started to connect the dots. Meanwhile, I was in full-blown denial, belligerent, angry, stubborn. I kept saying, "Why label him? Maybe he's introverted. I'm the type of guy that could have fun at an insurance seminar. You put me in a monastery and the monks and I are having a party. So how could I have a son that might have something that would hold him back socially?" I resisted the truth and my wife Michelle, but she pushed through. Warrior mothers, true warriors, do that. The moment everything changed was in a preschool birthday party. While the other kids were at the table singing "Happy Birthday," Gus was pacing, fixated on a fan in the corner. His teacher, a hero in my book, gently grabbed Michelle and said, "I love you, I love Harry, but I really think Gus is on the autism spectrum." 1 month later, with the help of a family member at the Cleveland Clinic, Gus was officially diagnosed with classic autism. On the drive home, my emotions were everywhere. I went into a hyper-adrenalized state comparable to my many hours in a boxing ring and karate dojo. I have an extensive martial arts background. Sun Tzu famously stated, "He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight." Well, it was time to fight for my son and time to change and support my wife. The moment of transformation of choosing to fight, not fear, was the beginning of my family's new chapter. And let me say this very clearly. Autism isn't a curse. It's not a failure. It's a journey. And embracing that journey opened the door to something powerful. partnership, growth, love, resilience. Michelle and I had to learn to paddle and sink, literally. We were both athletic and we like to jump on single kayaks, so we're very, very proficient. A few years ago, we decided we would try a tandem kayak on vacation. And when Michelle started paddling, it would go left. When I started paddling, it would go right. And let's just say there was some colorful language involved. We were very frustrated. But once we started paddling together, it jettisoned forward. It was exhilarating. We were in unison. That's exactly what parents with children on the spectrum need to do. Paddle together. In sync, in love, and in mission. Our home became a revolving door therapist, specialist, neurologist. Michelle, who had to leave her job as a nurse, became a teacher, therapist, chauffeur, and advocate. She took Gus to a brain balance center in Pittsburgh for 3 full semesters, over 8,000 miles, because we believed in the ability or the potential for neuroplasticity, and it did make a significant difference. Side note, the guru of neuroplasticity is Dr. Robert Malello. Dr. Malello has my book now, I'm proud to say, in his office, not that far here in New York City. I'm grateful to share that my book has made its way to nearly every part of the world. Just last week, I had the opportunity to be interviewed on a podcast in both Australia and the UK. This journey wouldn't have been possible without my son Gus's support. When I approached him about sharing our lives publicly, I think you heard it all last night. I talked about it and I told him, it's not easy opening your life. And I said, I'm not going to go pen to pad until I hear back from you. He stewed on it for 10 minutes, walked in and said, Dad, if it'll help even one person, we have to do this. Thank you, Gus, and congratulations on your well-earned virtual work last night. To every father and to every parent who hears this, I say, think about this. God doesn't make mistakes. And I'm going to repeat that. God doesn't make mistakes. Your child is not broken. They're a gift, a calling, and you were strong enough. In my book, I quote, "Within you burns a warrior soul, unwielding, unafraid, unstoppable. This is your moment to rise, take up arms, link shields, and unite. You, remarkable parent, are greater than any challenge you will face. So believe in yourself, have faith, go forth boldly, and give them help." Thank you for allowing me to share our story, and thank you for being part of the Loukoumi Foundation, a foundation that believes in hope, strength, and the incredible power of love and giving. I wanted to segue from my book to the concept that drove me from the beginning. A concept I hope you embrace, each and every one of you, and take back to your communities. I'm going to break away from my speech for a minute. The irony is the concept I'm discussing, all of you are already doing, and it's beautiful. Gus and I wrote the book, From Struggle to Strength, as our ultimate act of philotimo. Many of you may be asking, what does he mean by philotimo? Now, there was a wonderful young lady from Athens who's here, probably already knows. It's a word in Greek that has no direct translation. No one English word can carry its weight, its warmth, and its wonder. It's the most powerful word in the Greek language. It's not just a word, it's a way of life, a compass, a force, a call to arms to anyone who wants to live not just a good life, but a great one. So what is philotimo? At its core, philotimo, better known as the Greek secret, means love of honor. But that doesn't even scratch the surface. It's courage. It's integrity. It's giving without expecting. It's stepping up when no one is watching. It's doing what's right. Not for recognition, not for applause, but because your soul won't let you do anything else. And like I said, many of you here are already doing that. Philotimo is a man pulling over in the rain to help a stranger to change a tire. No cameras, no glory, just decency. It's a woman bringing a hot meal to a neighbor in need without mentioning it to anyone. It's a teenager standing up for a bully classmate, even when it's risky. Philotimo is the heartbeat of a society that cares. And right now, more than ever, we need that heartbeat to get louder. We live in a world where division is easy. Where scrolling, which I do quite often, is easier than connecting. Where selfishness is often rewarded louder than sacrifice. But what if that changed? What if each of us chose philotimo as a daily act of defiance against apathy? What if we lit fires of kindness, of courage, of moral conviction until the world was burning brighter? Let me tell you a quick story. In World War II, the Nazis occupied Greece. The mayor and bishop of a small island named Zakynthos were ordered to hand over the list of every Jewish resident. Do you know what they did? They handed the list with one name, their own. They said, you take them, you take us. That is philotimo. That is courage rooted in honor. That is humanity at its finest. And it didn't end there. The entire island hid its Jewish neighbors. Not one person was deported. Not one person was handed over. Think about that. An entire community choosing bravery over betrayal. That's the power of philotimo. That's the kind of world we still can build. Please keep this in mind. You don't have to be Greek to live philotimo. All of you here are an example of that because you're already doing it. You just need a heartbeat and a will to serve something bigger than yourself. You can be the one that notices when someone is struggling and reaches out. You can be the one that lifts others up when they can't stand on their own. You can be the one that walks into a room and just makes it better for being kind, being brave, being decent. Here's the secret. I think you all know this. When you live with philotimo, you change yourself as well. You become stronger, clearer, fuller. Your soul stops whispering and starts roaring. Because when you live with purpose, with passion, with fire, that fire spreads. It's contagious. So I ask you, what will you do with your philotimo? Are you going to let it sit quietly inside you or unleash it? Will you be the one that inspires others to show how fiercely you care, how deeply you give, how boldly you act? Because this world, dear audience, doesn't need more noise, more darkness. It needs more light. A light that starts with you. You want to make an impact? Don't ask for permission. Live with philotimo, live with honor, live with heart. Be the spark that makes someone believe in goodness again. I'm going to repeat that. All of you. Be the spark that makes someone believe in goodness again. Be the reason someone holds on a little longer. Be unforgettable. Not for your success, but for humanity. Again, philotimo isn't just a Greek ideal, it's a human one. It's the soul of service, the power of compassion, the courage to love boldly, giving freely, and standing tall in a world that needs your light. So let's go out there, not just to succeed, but to serve. Not just to win, but to live. Not just to live, but to live with philotimo. My ask for this audience, amazing members of the Loukoumi Make a Difference Foundation, is that you become a beacon of light and continue to be, because you already are, a beacon of light in your communities. Do I have your commitment? Show of hands. Awesome. It's been an honor, and I thank you all. And I want to finish my comments with this. If you look at the cover of my book, you're going to see gold boxing gloves. Gold is the symbol, is the color of hope. My publisher looked at me and said, you're crazy, Psaros. Why are you going to put boxing gloves? And I'm a fighter. I boxed. I'm almost a master's belt. I have a 4th degree almost in Tong Soo Do, Muay Thai boxing, you name it. And I wanted to bring the fighting spirit to my book. Let me say this. If you look, Tong Soo Do is my base. So if I'm a mugger and you're attacking me, I'm going to go to my Tong Soo Do. It's a Korean-based martial art with Chinese elements. But if you look at the Korean flag, you're going to see what's usually known as the yin and yang symbol. We say yang. It's the duality of forces, the balance of nature. You have good and you have evil, right? You have darkness and you have light. What does this have to do with what you're doing? It has everything. We live in a society, unfortunately at times, that's jaded, angry, a lot of darkness. You, every member here in this audience, are the counterbalance. You're the light. The lion that is heard the loudest in the Serengeti is the lion that roars. I want all of you to roar. All of you to keep bringing that light, that passion, that goodness to your communities. Amplify it. When you leave here, my challenge to you, when you leave, is amplify it. Gus and I were talking about it last night. We're excited to get back to the Pittsburgh community and do more. So thank you for being the counterbalance to what we typically see in the news. You're the good. So keep that up. And I encourage you to bring more people on board when you get home. But thank you so much for your time. This has been a remarkable honor, and it's been a pleasure meeting many of you. Thank you very much.